We're back with the silent and heartbreaking fight many black women face during and after pregnancy. Despite living in the wealthiest country in the world, many expectant black mothers do not receive the same care as white women. The statistics are stunning. And tonight, News 4 anchor Natalie Pasquarella takes an in-depth look. She talked with one Brooklyn mother who's sharing her story so that no other woman will have to deal with the pain that she's endured.
When a doctor told Chrissy Sample she was carrying twins, her reaction was,
"Are you sure? Is this like my chart? Are you positive?"
But the shock last October quickly gave way to planning.
Two of everything, the doubles, and you start to wrap your head around.
And then overwhelming excitement.
3, 2, 1.
The Brooklyn mom of an 8-year-old was having 2 more boys who would be named after fighters Cassius and Apollo. It was a pregnancy against all odds, high risk in the middle of a pandemic, and it took a sudden turn during a routine sonogram.
And she says, "There's only one heartbeat."
Shattered beyond words, Chrissy had no time to grieve as she delivered Apollo's stillborn and gave birth prematurely to Cassius.
I'm so blessed to have him because he almost didn't make it. It's hard because no matter how how life goes, I still pictured 2 babies. I still pictured having, 3 sons. It doesn't go away.
Also lingering are questions of how this happened and her growing conviction that race played a devastating role.
The numbers are crazy. Like, we are dying at such an alarming rate. We're not making it, black women, we are dying in the hospital. Our babies are not making it. We're miscarrying well after the date where they say that you should be out the clear.
The numbers are undeniable. The CDC says black women are twice as likely as white women to give birth prematurely. They die in childbirth at a far higher rate. And black babies are also twice as likely to die before their first birthday. While research shows there are many factors, doctors are finding one alarming constant.
Women are saying that they are not being listened to and they're not being heard. And that is why now the focus is on whether or not there's implicit bias happening. Organizations are paying attention to whether or not women are being listened to.
It's caught the attention of groups like the March of Dimes, which launched implicit bias training for doctors and hospitals nationwide, saying it's time for us to have an honest conversation about the huge health disparities that exist for women of color. Do you feel like it was because you're a black woman?
At first I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel like it was because I was black. We're ignored on so many levels. But when it happens to you, you don't really realize what's happening until it's over.
For Chrissy, the red flag was extreme pain during her pregnancy that she felt her doctor brushed off.
When I ask her, it's like, "Oh, it's relative. Oh, it's fine." Like, "Oh, it's a part of pregnancy." It was never like, maybe I should check this out.
And she says she had trouble getting an appointment with a high-risk doctor, which is standard for a mom with twins. She felt her doctor didn't give her extra help to get it booked. And when Chrissy finally got in on her own, it was too late.
The part that was the most heartbreaking, she said, "Well, this happened within 1 to 3 days." And I kept saying, "I felt movement, like I just felt him." If I was seeing, the week prior, this could have been prevented.
Saving another mother from an ordeal like Chrissy's is the mission of Brooklyn Assemblymember Rodneyse Bichotte.
Why do we have such high disparities in birth rates, in care, maternal care? It's ridiculous.
Bichotte also lost a baby prematurely and has introduced a bill in the child's honor that would require hospitals to provide better care and information for preterm moms. The federal government is also taking steps with a national campaign called Hear Her.
That means that we are supposed to listen to women, all women, and particularly women of color, when they reach the healthcare system, at the door, at the office, in the operating room.
For Chrissy, there's no telling when those conversations in the hospital will stop replaying in her mind. It's possible they never will, but she knows there's a helpful, powerful lesson for others in her ordeal.
Advocate for yourself. If you feel that something is just not right when you go into your doctor's appointment and listen to your gut, find a new doctor. Find someone who is going to listen to you, who's going to make your needs, heard. It's important to advocate for yourself.
And listening to Women, the big takeaway here. Natalie joins us now with more. Natalie, what other solutions are experts exploring?
Well, Gilma, you heard there from Dr. Gittens-Williams from Rutgers, and she also brought up another common theme of community, saying we should look at new models of care, like group prenatal care where women are empowered by other women. She said this has shown in many cases to have better outcomes than that traditional one-on-one doctor's visit. Basically, women in a community create a community. That's where she's going with that, Gilma.
Natalie, thank you for bringing awareness to this. We appreciate it, and we're going to see you in a few short minutes at 6. All right, Storm Team 4 tracking the tropics tonight. Janice, only 18 days left in the busy